everybody. Good afternoon. So, my name is Alan McColgan. I'm a category manager here at eBay as part of our vehicle parts and accessories team. I hope you've all got a lot out of all the talks you've attended so far today. I know there's a lot of eBay experts still spread across the room, so if you do have any questions across the venue, please flag with them and ask them, and I'm sure they'll be able to help you. So out of all the talks you've heard today, in my opinion, the talk that you're going to get the absolute most out of is this one, because you get to listen to me for 30 minutes. Don't laugh too much. But in all seriousness, why do I think that this is the talk that you'll get the most out of? So a bit of a background about myself. Before I joined eBay, I was actually also an eBay seller for about 8 years. And I've now been with eBay for 3 years in a number of different roles. And I'm now fit to, I believe, highlight some of the things that I found most interesting when I jumped to the other side. One of which is Terapeak. It was a third-party tool when I was selling on eBay, but sellers found it so useful that it was then incorporated into Seller Hub. If you're not in that bucket of sellers who found it exceptionally useful, don't panic. As I said, I'm not either. But once I joined eBay and found out the benefits of it, it's definitely something I wish I had utilised a lot more, because it would have made growing and maintaining an eBay account a lot easier. So first things first, if we can all scan this code, and we're going to have a bit of a quiz. I always wanted to host a game show. This is the absolute closest I'm ever going to get. So 50-50. How many of you have used Terapeak Insights tool on eBay before? Oh, we've got one in the room. I'll give you another couple of seconds to get. And we'll move on. Everybody good? Preparing the results. 65% more than earlier on. So still 34% people haven't. 65%. Hopefully this is a bit of a refresher for you. What can Terapeak be used for? 4 options here. Optimize your listings, market research, opportunity analysis, or all of the above. I would love the countdown clock behind me, but we just didn't have the budget. Preparing the results. These guys were all right. These guys were the most right. 75%, yeah, all of the above. When comparing a similar group of sellers, the sellers who use Terapeak's tools will typically have sales X% higher than sellers who don't. 5%, 2%, 8%, or D, 13%. 57% of the people are completely clued into Terapeak. That is correct. 13% of sellers see an increase. So, as an eBay seller, you're constantly looking for ways to increase your sales and revenue, and one of the tools that can help you do that is Terapeak, with, as we've seen, 13% of sellers seeing an increase in sales versus similar sellers who haven't fully utilized the tool. So what is Terapeak? In a nutshell, Terapeak is an analytics tool that helps eBay sellers research, analyze trends, pricing, and competition on the platform. And this is what we're going to cover today. We will take a look at Terapeak Product Research tool to see what sort of prices are driving conversion within your categories, how to optimize your listings and improve your retail standards. I'm sure you've heard both of them terms mentioned throughout the whole day, but both exceptionally important. Market research and competitor analysis, how you can get a feel for what's selling in your category, who's selling and what price. Cross-border trade, how you can tap into the global reach a platform like eBay gives you, and also reactivate underperforming listings. Use some of the learning from these previous bits and put it into listings that haven't been doing so well on your eBay site. And finally, Terapeak sourcing insights, so you can be more agile in the market and adapt to market changing conditions. You've probably seen it before, but you may or may not have clicked into it. I know when I was a seller, I was very much on autopilot mode. Day in, day out, visiting the same pages without really exploring Seller Hub. But if you do get an opportunity, please do have a look around Seller Hub. There's a lot of extensive good tools in there for analytics and research. One of which is Terapeak, which is parked in here between your payments and your reports tab. One thing I will also say that if you are on any page within eBay, anything that you've heard today that is of interest, scroll down to the bottom of the page and go into your Seller Center and just write it in there. It'll give you a lot more information on it. You can find out about third-party tools. You can find out about listing optimization, you can also find out about Terapeak. Some of the information I may or may not have just simply copied and pasted into these slides. So, how does Terapeak Product Research help sellers? There's 6 key points that we're going to look at here. Firstly, we're going to look at research or competition. This is very much the point of entry for sellers into Terapeak. If you've ever had an item that's flying off the shelf and then all of a sudden the sales completely dip off, bless you, Terapeak is the place to go to find the root cause. You can also research the categories you're selling in and find out what your competition is selling and at what price. Then analyze the competition's listings and pick out the key elements of the top selling listings and implement them into your own listings to help them appear higher in search. Compare price points. You can compare average prices for similar products, find the most profitable listings and adjust your pricing strategies accordingly. Compare titles. Listing optimization is very much the foundation to selling on eBay. One of the key parts of listing optimization is titles, and one of the key parts of titles is keywords. Terapeak provides a function that allows you to analyze the titles of your competition's listings so you can see what keywords they're using, what wording is working best, and use those insights to optimize your own listings. Identify sales trends. With Terapeak, you can find out about sales trends within your categories, allowing you to make better informed decisions about which products to stock and when. You can use this information to add new products and services based on market demand, maximize your profit, and react to market changing conditions. For example, if you're selling iPhone cases and the new iPhone is launched, you can use Terapeak to identify when the demand for the new iPhone case far outweighs the demand for the old iPhone case and adjust your stock accordingly. Explore retail standards. Retail standards are very much the housekeeping of an eBay seller. Use Terapeak Product Research to improve your retail standards and match the competition. By analysing the top performing listings in more detail, you can see how top performing listings do in terms of shipping and returns. If you're selling bulky items and you have a significant postage price, you can check to see if your competitors are offering free shipping and incorporating the shipping price within their selling price. We have seen that offering free shipping does help increase conversion. And finally, explore international markets, allowing you to identify business opportunities and dive into international markets. Explore new product offerings and set your business up to tap into the global reach a marketplace like eBay gives you. So, optimize your listings. Terapeak helps you to optimize your listings and increase visibility to attract more customers. First and foremost, what do we mean when we talk about listing optimization? So, listing optimization is everything to do with ticking all the boxes for your customers, but also ticking all the boxes for the eBay algorithm. Like you, eBay wants a good buyer experience, and to do that, we push listings that are well described, i.e. the customer gets the exact item they thought they would when they ordered the item and it arrives at the door. It also looks at listings. It looks at listings with as many images as possible. The more images you have, the more likely the customer's going to have a feel for what they're receiving. The more you have to use up all of your title and use up as many item specifics as possible. The more item specifics you have filled out, the more likely your item is well described. If your competitors are ticking more boxes than you and they're price competitive, their listings are going to be pushed higher in search, and we're all fighting for that top of search real estate. And this is where Terapeak can help. So as I mentioned before, with Terapeak you can analyze keywords to understand which ones are working best. Using Terapeak's listing analytics, you can also identify the most successful listing formats, titles, and item specifics. By analysing data on the listings of your competitors and the performance of your own listings, you can determine which listing elements are driving sales and which ones can be improved. So for example, say you're listing a pair of men's jeans and your listing's not getting a lot of traction, you can go into Terapeak, type in men's blue Levi jeans, and you can assess what the top listings within them categories have that you don't. You may find that they have the brand of the jeans in the title, or they have the colour of the jeans selected and the item specifics. Whatever the case may be, it'll give you the best practice to sell your own item on eBay. If you miss an important item specific, for example, if you haven't selected blue and your buyer does select blue on the left hand side of search, your listing won't show up, and therefore you potentially missed out on a sale. Either way, you will find the best practice and ultimately improve your listing's quality and increase the likelihood of appearing higher in search. You can also use these learnings to apply these to listings that haven't sold, i.e. your underperforming listings. So if you go into your active listings, you can see the listings that are underperforming. It'll show you listings that haven't performed in the last 180 days. You can then use Terapeak to assess the top selling competitive listings and implement the learnings from them and put them into your own listings. So if an item hasn't been selling, benchmark it against an item that has with Terapeak. As well as listing optimization, something that sits quite nicely alongside that is retail standards. As I said before, retail standards are very much the housekeeping of an eBay seller. You can use Terapeak here to check on your retail standards, match the competition, and get a better feel for the landscape and the market that you're selling in. You may find that 99% of the sellers within your category are offering free postage, incorporating the postage price into their overall price. Or as you can see from this example, only 26% of the sellers are offering free postage. This may be because this is high-end luxury watches and they may be offering a more insured postage option as just to give the customers peace of mind. But again, I will say at the top there you can see that all of these listings are offering free postage apart from the one that's at the bottom. So we do see that offering free postage does increase conversion, so it's always best practice. Either way, Terapeak lets you assess the market and gives you all the info you need to make the right call for your product and your business. Before we move off this slide, I just want to highlight the importance of maintaining your seller standards. Having your listings fully optimized will go a long way to helping you become or remain an eBay top-rated seller. And as I said, just like you, eBay wants a great buyer experience, so we're always going to be pushing them accounts that are offering that to their customers. Operating as a top-rated seller will go a long way to helping you remain and helping you sell successfully on eBay. Market research. So Terapeak offers comprehensive market research to help sellers understand the eBay marketplace. It allows you to gain valuable insights into product demand, pricing, trends, and seasonality. You can also identify the most profitable product categories and niches, discover the best listing strategies based on historical data and competitor analysis. So how it works, you can simply type in the product you're selling. What Terapeak will do, it'll give you both a sales view and an active view of the marketplace for the category over a time frame which you can choose. You can choose anywhere from 7 days to 2 years. It will show you also the average price over that period of time. Maybe your suppliers have recently increased their prices. You can go into Terapeak and find out if that price increase is being seen across the board, or potentially there may be a few sellers that have entered into the market with a cheaper price, and that's what's driving down the price, and that could be where you're missing out in sales. You can also look at the total sold, as seen here with a very helpful trend line, which lets you make the call if the demand for your product is increasing or decreasing, allowing you to keep an eye on the product's life cycle and seasonality, and ultimately ensure that you have the right stock levels during seasonal periods and peak periods throughout the year. It will also show you the distribution of listing prices, and you can figure out which price bracket is driving the most sales for your product. Market share, it will give you a market share view so you can see how many sales are coming from what percentage of sellers. You may see that 80% of the sales are coming from 5% of the sellers, or on the other hand, you could see that it's more flat and there's a more even spread of sales across the category, which means with the right research and execution, you could potentially go in and disrupt that market and gain a lot of traction within there. And finally, you can see which category is most effective to list in, as it will give you a view of which category the product sells best in. This is excellent, and I'm sure this is the case for a lot of you. You have a product that sits probably between 2 categories in eBay rather nicely, and I'll give you an example from the category I look after, which is performance parts. So a spoiler of a vehicle will actually improve the performance of the vehicle, but more often than not, people actually put it onto their car as a styling part to make the car look cool. Whether it does or not, that's the jury's out on that. But that part could sit nicely in both categories. But what Terapeak will do, it'll let you know exactly where most of the sales are coming for that product, and therefore you can then make a more informed decision and ensure giving yourself the best chance to make a sale for your product. Competitor analysis. So once you have all the groundwork done with listing optimization and you've analysed the market, you can then deep dive more thoroughly through competitor analysis. I know as eBay sellers you're probably fairly aware of who you're competing with. I know back in my selling days I had 2 or 3 sellers that I checked their listings every single day. I checked to see what they'd sold the day before, checked to see what they'd listed the day before, and checked to see if they'd changed the listing formats in any way. This was even before Terapeak was in Seller Hub. But One of Terapeak's key advantages is the ability to perform in-depth competitor analysis. By examining your competitors' listings, you can gain insights into their strategies, pricing, and sales performance. This information can be used to inform your own approach and make adjustments to improve your sales. For example, you may discover that a seller is selling the same items as you at an exceptionally higher price. Therefore, you could potentially raise your price and reinvest some of that margin. You could see that some of your competitors are constantly selling out of the products that they have, which means that you may want to seek to see if you can get any more of them products, or even maybe explore manufacturing them products yourself. Cross-border. So as I mentioned earlier, Terapeak allows you to take advantage of the global reach of eBay. You can assess 22 global marketplaces, and with Terapeak you can repeat the same process we discussed for the UK and implement them on other marketplaces as shown here. You just simply select the marketplace from, sorry to ruin all your photographs, I don't make for a good picture. You just select from the drop down menu, and this will allow you to make a more informed decision if you want to take your business to the next level and into another market. Maybe you have a unique proposition that's selling really well in the UK. You may even be the manufacturer yourself, or simply have a really good relationship with the UK manufacturer. Whatever the case may be, there could well be the opportunity that your product gets the same traction in the US or Germany, for example. So use Terapeak, assess the opportunity, and make the move if the opportunity is shown to exist. So finally, once you have all your ducks in a row with the inventory and the stock you already have, and you can then use Terapeak to take you to that next level. And I'm sure you can all agree, over the last 3 years in particular, businesses have been thrown curveball after curveball, whether that had been through COVID, Brexit, or somehow that guy got that boat stuck in the canal, which annoyed everybody for a long time. The ability to diversify, adjust, and adapt has been more important than ever. So one of the great things about Terapeak Sourcing Insights tool is it does all the homework for you, and will give you a visual on potential opportunities to let you make a more informative, expansion decision. So how does it do this? It uses data like sales, searches, and item specifics to identify business opportunities in categories you sell in, as well as categories you don't. The tool automatically highlights the opportunities here with the Great Opportunities badge, and it'll identify opportunities with high demand and low supply within your category. You can also search for categories, or search for opportunities in categories you don't sell in. Just go to the Search and Browse tab and look for inventory sourcing insights in categories with potential for your business. You can identify the top opportunities in each category, such as brands, most popular sizes, etc., so you'll know what to order, in what quantity, and what price you're going to have to set that out in order to sell it. You can benchmark against the top performing listings in these categories, so you can see what's selling and how others are selling it. You can also check the top performing item specifics on your products. Say, for example, you are selling men's jumpers and your supplier comes to you with a massive container full of men's shoes and they're all discounted. You can use Terapeak to assess to see if that opportunity actually does exist. So what it does is it compares the amount of searches for these products versus the amount of purchases. The idea being that in an ideal market, both should be pretty level. But if the searches far outweighs the purchases, that means there's an inventory challenge within the category, and therefore there's a commercial opportunity. So you can see it's very much a tool that does a lot of the source and investigation work for you, and it always helps you explore opportunities yourself as well. So that was our whistle-stop tour of Terapeak. Back on your phones here. This is the most important question. As a result of what was covered in this session, is there at least one thing you intend to take action on for your business within the next month? Be nice. Um, 96.7%. Wow, that's good. It was 97 earlier on. Yeah. What did they do wrong this time? Anyway, that's good. So, thank you very much. From listing optimization to market research, competitor analysis, and Terapeak, benchmarking against top performing listings and expanding into global markets and using Terapeak to fully and correctly will give you the best chance to successfully sell on eBay. Thanks everybody, and I think